everyone, how's it going? After last week's revelation, I'm going to be channeling my inner Jacob Rees-Mogg today, at least for the first 5 minutes. So, I'll do that, and I'll explode like a volcano of rage and hate and foul language, like a Tasmanian devil with a hangover. So it's probably good to get the serious stuff out the way first, before we start on the abject mockery that is this week's edition of the BBC Spews. There is plenty of comedy gold on the BBC website, you just have to do a little bit of digging. Although not actually that much digging, because it's an absolute joke. The things they think are serious journalism beg a belief. I do not know what goes through their heads, the people they employ. It's not a meritocracy, the BBC. It's literally, are you a communist? Yes, I'm a communist. Can't spell? No. Barely speak the Queen's English? No, none of that. Who cares? You don't need to be able to write when you want to be a journalist. You're hired. You have the right political opinions, you can get a gig at the BBC easily. They love diversity, but only a veneer. It's a sham. If you're a diverse gender or race, or you don't even know what you are, you can have a job. But they don't like diversity of opinions, and that's why the website is about as embarrassing as being caught masturbating on the back of the school bus. Which happened to a friend of mine. Honestly, definitely wasn't me. So the first one, we can start on a serious note, because it's not really something worthy of mockery, is it? Is the LAPD guys. So just down the road from me, got ambushed yesterday. And what did we think was going to happen? What did we think was going to happen when we've been pandering, especially in LA again? The mayor, Garcetti, is, for want of a better word, a slack-jawed pansy. Like, the man is a joke. Sort of like Boris Johnson on steroids, or Sadiq Khan or someone. Like, basically won't do anything if he thinks it'll make him unpopular with purple-haired 23-year-old gender-bending university students. You know what I mean? Like a really infantile attitude towards governance. You have to do things that are going to be unpopular. If you try to please everybody, you please nobody. Everyone knows this who isn't as light as a Candyman's balloon. So it's a bit weird that we've now got people in government who aren't willing to make a hard decision. They're just not. They're like, this would be good in the long term, but it will upset 11 shrieking purple-haired bull dykes. I'm not doing it then. I'm not doing it. So really, really weird, sort of pathetic milquetoast politics. These people, they look sharp in a suit. The hair's always immaculately combed, but they are jellyfish on legs. Squidgy, boneless legs, but legs all the same. So here's the footage.
The suspect approached them from behind as the deputies were facing southbound in their patrol vehicle. The suspect came from the north. He walked along the passenger side of the car. He acted as if he was going to walk past the car, and then he made a left turn directly toward the car, raised a pistol, and fired several rounds inside of the vehicle, striking both of the sheriff's deputies.
The two deputies were doing their job, minding their own business, watching.
So literally doing nout. I need to stop using that word as well. I notice young people say it all the time, don't they? Even when it's definitely not literally. You say like, I literally jumped out of my skin. You didn't. You definitely didn't. You figuratively did that. I'm going to try not to use it anymore. But they were sitting there doing nothing, got slotted. That's just a full-on murder attempt. And what do you expect? What do you expect with the climate they've created? Boris Johnson's guilty of this as well, he is. Being weak on it. Stephen Fry was also slagging off. They're basically talking like it's okay to be violent all the time, constantly. The far left are making out like it's okay to be violent. Like when they're talking about punching Nazis, everyone should punch a Nazi. The problem, lads, is you're not punching Nazis. You're arbitrarily declaring anyone right of Jeremy Corbyn a Nazi and a fascist, an evil. Evil. So then, what do you think's going to happen? People are going to think it's acceptable to kill, but of course they're going to think I'm not a complete imbecile, so I understand this. But I understand the nuance. I understand that they shouldn't be taken at face value. The people they're calling evil aren't really evil. They just disagree with them in politics. But the discourse used by the far left now is obviously going to... I mean, again, they keep having to go at Trump for it. Trump, yeah, he takes the piss out of people in a sort of infantile way, but he doesn't call them evil. He doesn't say they are baby rapers. Like, these guys make out as if you're the scum of the earth if you disagree with them. So, of course, you're going to get people attacking coppers, and Eric Clanton's going to be twatting people with a bike lock. Oh, no, I think twat counts as a swear word. Again, not in my school. That's what the PE teacher used to tell you. Twat it. All right. Well, I'm done. That was nearly 5 minutes. Fuck it. Of course they're going to be violent. The rhetoric needs to stop. And that's just absolutely shocking, that. Just killing them for no reason. They both survived because he obviously bottled it. You could see he was nervous. He only clipped off a few rounds and then he done one as fast as he could. But hopefully it'll come out of a critical condition and they'll live through it. But, you know, your life's fucked anyway, isn't it? If you've had 3 holes put in your Gregory Peck and you managed to survive, you're going to have a bit of difficulty jogging up the stairs a few weeks later, aren't you? So it's not funny. It's shocking. And it's caused by the appalling gutter discourse of the left. They keep saying Trump's bad for it. He's just insulting people in a childish manner. They're basically saying it's okay to murder people. Said almost 40 coppers were killed in the line of duty in 2020. 8 of them victims of an ambush. And that figure's just going to keep going up because of brainwashed, violent lefty activists and spineless jellyfish politicians that will not properly back the police. Look, again, I keep going back to Boris Johnson in London, when Antifa and BLM were like bricking the police and assaulting them, and like 30 of them ended up in hospital. He didn't say anything about it. He was just like, I don't want to look uncool. You need to 100% come out and say, listen, dipshits, if you assault a police officer, you're getting 10 years in the nick. And I will ensure you get put in a cell with Randy Ron and you have a very, very sore bottom for the entirety of your stay. You dirty, dirty communist rabble-rousing shitbag. Yeah? Seems fair to me. BBC once again on this one, totally siding with the violence, the violent mob. It says Moria migrants tear gassed by Greek police in protest over new camp. And again, look at the photo. Every single time they try and show a photograph, they pick something that's got nothing to do with reality. Like, seriously, we've all seen the dinghies rocking up in the UK in the last month. What do you think is an acceptable statistic? 95% of them fighting age men? Yeah? Gotta be. Look at the photo they use on the video there. Like, a woman and a kid. No man in sight. It's comical. Comical. That is not your typical migrant or refugee. 100%. Google it. Every single video, photo, everything I've seen for the last month has been hairy-arsed blokes. Not women and babies. It's just fiction. At the very top, fiction. And that's probably from a fucking holiday resort in Dubai or something. Anyway, making out like the police are evil. Oh, they fired tear gas at protesting migrants who were left homeless when their camp burned down on Wednesday. You set it on fire, you mad bastards. That's something. If I put my testicles on my desk and bash them wafer thin with my teacup, I then don't have the right to complain I've got sore bollocks 5 minutes later. It was me that flattened them. The idea that they're complaining. The photo's absurd, and the first line, oh yeah, they're left homeless, the poor bastards are homeless. You set them on fire. It was you that did it. It wasn't the police. Police didn't do it. You did it. So what do you mean they're left homeless? Left homeless because they set their home on fire? Yeah. Anyway, so total nonsense. I don't even need to read the whole thing, do I? We can just stop at the photo and the first paragraph. It's propaganda. You know it, I know it. In fact, yeah, so let's skip it because I've been waffling a bit too much. One more serious one. Will Brexit upend the coronavirus economic rebound? No. Yeah? Bootneck's law? Question on the BBC? No. Every time. Because they talk nonsense. And they know when they're talking nonsense, they have to phrase it as a question because they can't just It's to get around the impartiality laws. If they just say, Brexit's going to destroy the economy, and it doesn't, first of all, they're not being impartial, and secondly, they've definitely been caught out being completely wrong. So if they just come up with something ridiculous but then phrase it as a question, oh, well, we didn't think that, we were just asking the question. Yeah, it's begging the question. Will it have been... No, it won't. Even though the you communists at the BBC want everything bad to happen to Britain, they love it. They want us all to die. Like, they would love it if the coronavirus killed 20 million people in the UK. They'd love it, because they'd go, hey, it happened on Boris's watch, loving it. They're sick in the head. Sick in the head. They love seeing coppers get slotted, they love seeing BLM throw bricks at police horses, and they love seeing economic turmoil. As long as Jezzers are not running the show, they want everything bad to happen. It's palpable. And it's disgraceful. It's a good job you still don't get executed for treason anymore, because the heads would be rolling down fucking Oxford Street if that was the case. Brexvid, COVID, a simultaneous no trade deal, Brexit, an ongoing coronavirus pandemic are now clearly possible. Ugh. Oh, woe is me. You mean the most pansy pandemic in history? And a no-deal Brexit is fine, and we've been saying it's fine for 4 years. So get over it, Faisal. In many sectors, the economic impacts of those shocks would build on each other. Don't care. Don't care. We've had 5 elections about it. 5, right? European elections, general election, referendum. We just keep going. Do it. Do it. We're already out. We might as well jump in feet first and just get the fuck out. No trade deals, we can do it. The lack of confidence stuns me. Country that took over half the fucking world, now we're shitting ourselves because there's a proper pansy pandemic. And the EU are playing hardball. Well, boo fucking who. Brick up the Channel Tunnel, put a few thousand Marines down in Dover, and let the frogs do their fucking worst. Who gives a Shiite Muslim? Yeah, everything appears optimistic now. Woe is me, a no-trade deal is an immediate challenge, doom and gloom, the Treasury's avoided it, blah blah. Certain drugs are going to run out. There's limited space at the port. Misery, misery, misery. Is there anything good in here? Some exporters won't have capital to invest in new procedures and staff. Well, we'll get over it. We'll give them a loan. We'll go to fucking work. It's not the end of the world. Are we prepared for when the transition period ends? Of course we had. Faisal, of course we had. All of this will disproportionately affect the sectors most reliant on exports to the EU. Tariffs will hinder our business model. It's just misery. Misery, misery. All of our post-Brexit resources are used up. Just bollocks. So that is just an unending... Faisal as Islam has just penned 2,000 words of drivel. Crybaby, fucking Ramona, piss and wind from another far-left activist masquerading as a journalist. See you later. Next up, you knew they'd have it on there, didn't you? You knew. 10th of September. Everyone else has moved on. But the BBC, and this is Newsbeat section for the kids, right? They just want to keep going on about what a good guy Jussie is. It's laughable. I don't think anyone else is even covering this anymore. And they're certainly not leading with the headline, Jussie Smollett's maintaining his innocence. Most of the headlines are like, Jussie Smollett is as guilty as fucking Fred West. Like, of course. What do you mean he maintains his innocence? Jussie Smollett has maintained his innocence ahead of a court hearing. It's not even a story. He said the last 2 years had been beyond frustrating. Yes, because you told the worst lie ever and you got caught. You dopey twat. They won't let this go. It doesn't matter. There is an example being made because you're an arsehole and you lied to the police and you basically fucked over every person in the country that's ever been a victim of genuine racism, because now when someone says, oh, I got attacked by people who were wearing MAGA hats, everyone goes, fuck off, you lying twat. So yeah, Jussie, they're making an example because you wasted hundreds of thousands of police resources, dollars and time because you're a complete throbber with the moral fibre of a pissed off rattlesnake, you shitbag. Honestly, I don't know how he sleeps at night, and I certainly don't know how he gobs off at the media still. When fucking Ray Charles can see he's guilty. Everyone can, can't they? Morris the Mole could see these guilty. It's fucking clear as day. It's an example being made of someone that didn't do what they're being accused of. Again, how does he say it with a straight face? Dave Chappelle does a good skit on his latest show about it, but it's comedy gold. It's funny as, isn't it? It said he was accused of paying two brothers to carry out the attack. Yeah, two Nigerian blokes. It's the first time ever that an American has paid to scam two Nigerians. Fucking hell, you don't get that very often, do you? Usually the other way around. It said, but in March, all charges against him were dropped. Don't point out the fact that it's because he was personal friends with the DA. Again, all of this is well known, but the BBC don't want to tell you. Because they've got a political fucking dog in this hunt, and they want Mr. Smollett to be let off because he agrees with their political opinions, so therefore let him do whatever he likes. Chicago police stood by it and accused the courts of letting him off scot-free. No, the courts did let him off scot-free. Yeah. Short version is they got rid of the DA because they found out she had a conflict of interest, and now the special prosecutor Dan Webb, he's been assigned to look into it, and he's going to nail his fucking gonads to the barn door. He's got no chance. He's been charged with 6 counts of lying to police, and he's pleaded not guilty. He said not speaking out has been tough for someone that speaks up for so much. Yeah, it's like, oh, come on, I'm a good person. I go on Twitter and talk about racism and sexism and homophobia, therefore I can do whatever I like. You can see why all the lefty sort of communist countries and Marxist places go so corrupt. Because they do think, it's a weird paradigm on the far left. They think that because their causes are moral, therefore they can do whatever they want to achieve them. Yeah, so it's okay to shoot the police. It's okay to throw a brick at a police horse. It's okay to lie to the police. Because, you speak up for LGBT rights on Twitter, so of course you can let me talk shit, waste the police time, and just generally act like a fucking worm. Come on, I'm allowed. Surely I'm allowed because I'm so nice. Fuck off, Jussie. Take your head for a shit, you silly twat. He adds it's not his job to convince people that I did not do this. Fuck it is when you're in court, son. And then he leaves it again a question. An assault or a fake? Well, fucking hell, BBC. If you still need to ask the question, we all know what side of the bed you get out of, don't we? Holy shit. Unbelievable. We'll do one more for comedy value. Yeah, this is a classic. I might have covered this months ago, but I forget. I just looked it up because I heard Douglas Murray and James Delingpole talking about it. It was coronavirus. I'm scared of being buried as the wrong gender. Like, that's what you're worrying about. I'll tell you what. One thing I'm definitely not worrying about is what happens to me after I'm dead. As far as I'm concerned, after I'm dead, you can dig me up, bend me over a park bench, and just put a big sign on my back saying, "Arsehole for public use." You can. I can be defiled in any way possible you like when I'm dead. Don't care. Like I've said before, you can stuff me, splay my fingers, use me as a novelty hat stand. I don't fucking care. Do what you like. But the BBC sees fit to run headlines like this. It says, even though lockdown measures have eased a little in England, the guidance is still affecting daily life. Some LGBT people have told the BBC they are in more danger than ever before. Ever before. Ever. Like, even in the 1930s, where they'd, forcibly sterilise you. Yeah, even more danger than then. Lucy said she's transgender and has heart issues. Well, I'd be more worried about the heart issues than the transgender thing, but, whatever. She said after years living as a woman, she has no doubt her parents would bury her as a man. They'll shave my long hair, put me in a suit, use my birth name, and call me he all the way through the funeral. The thought of my family doing it makes me feel so sick, but I know they will. Yeah, so your heart's going to explode at any minute. You could possibly die of a virus, and you're worried about, yeah, but my dad'll shave me head when I'm dead. I love how northern his family are as well. Look, it says, how northern her family are, right? Don't want to misgender anyone. You probably get 3 months in the gulag for that. It says, when I came out as trans and told my parents, they literally tried to beat the trans out of me. My dad told me I needed to find a girlfriend and sort myself out. I love northern dads. You know, he's drinking his tea, reading the Racing Post. Dad, I'm transgender. Listen, son, get yourself a girlfriend and sort your fucking life out. It's so northern. I love it. They never accept me being trans. Why would they when I die? Listen, Lucy, honestly, not to side with your bigoted, homophobic, evil dad, but seriously, go for a jog, maybe read a book you like, and just get on with your life, right? Stop worrying about what happens after you're dead. I understand worrying about what might kill you, but worrying about what happens to you long after you're dead, that's definitely skipping a few steps, right? It's like, live your life, enjoy your life, worry about death, definitely worry about death, die. It's not be alive, worry about what happens long after you're dead. You're skipping a few steps there. Get on with your life. Listen to Daddy. Said Lucy doesn't have a gender recognition certificate. Poor bastard. Surely you can just knock one of them up yourself on Photoshop. That doesn't sound like that's a very important document like a passport. Fuck it, I'll make you one. Email me, I'll fucking make you one. Another one, Matt, 24. He lives in the West Midlands. His dad was drunk one day and he said, I don't want you bringing a bloke home because it's not normal. Bit harsh. Again, I don't think I'd care if my son came out as gay. But everyone's entitled to their opinion, aren't they? I don't want to sound like I'm a bigoted bastard, but the dad's entitled to his opinion. It's not against the law to be anti-gay rights. You're allowed to be. I'm a freedom of speech type of chap. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Our old rule when I was a lad was, while you live under my house, you follow my fucking rules. I'm pretty sure that extends to bumming. Like, my dad was just talking about fucking smoking ganja or something. It extends to fisting sailors in the spare room. Your dad's allowed to have his opinions, and it doesn't make him evil. And you're 24. So get your own place, mate. Get your own place and daisy chain around the living room with as many fucking sailors as you like. I support your right to do that. But don't be a 24-year-old man living with your dad, whinging because he doesn't want to see you folding a fucking bloke over the couch. Yeah? Anyway, time's getting on. That went on fast. I think we'll call it for the week. I hope everyone's doing all right. Don't forget to share the video and do me a favour. And if you want to buy some shite, have a look at the links in the bottom. Thanks for watching, and I will hopefully get some videos done in the middle of the week. Cheers, guys. See you around.